So I had a really busy week this week and I didn't get a project done, but I've got a lot going on in the art studio. I've been working on my website. I'm setting up a store on my website, and so I've been doing a lot of photography, and I thought that this would be a good time to go in and take a look around. These are works on paper that I'm organizing and photographing. This is a painting inspired by the sculpture of Henry Moore. I always look at sculpture and let that influence my artwork and also my furniture design. Another figurative painting, and this is kind of a mess right now. I'm just categorizing everything and then photographing it. And let me show you how I photograph small works like this. This is just a gray piece of paper, and I've taped a kind of an easel to the paper, and when I photograph the works on paper like this, the background just sort of blends away, and that way you can see the paper as more of a three-dimensional object. This is a painting that I've been working on for a while and just finished it. It's a painting of the Navesink River from Huber Woods. And for me, it's been really important to paint the landscape and also paint abstract paintings, because what I found as a business, sometimes paintings like this are selling and sometimes paintings like this are selling. And also, it keeps me interested. I wouldn't want to just make one particular type of painting. It's nice to kind of jump from a style like this to a style like this, and also that way you're always learning something new. A lot of people have commented on this painting over the years. My dad was a pilot. He still flies a little bit. My brother Jim is a pilot, and I grew up going to air shows and going to airfields, and I always loved this symbol. I like this and the rondelle, and these are two works on paper that are very similar. These paintings, the silver in these paintings is made with aluminum leaf, and that's a real fun process. I do have a video on how to use aluminum leaf on a frame, and it's pretty much the same way. And then this painting here is something I thought I'd talk about. This is a painting of the Barcelona Chair, and the Barcelona Chair was designed by the architect Mies van der Rohe. And I made this painting, or a similar painting to this, probably more than 10 years ago, and a company in the UK saw it on the web and then commissioned me to make this poster. And they were selling them for about 2.5 to 3 years. It was nice because I'd get a check every 6 months, and then it just sort of petered out. I don't know exactly what happened there, but they did send me these two posters, or they sent me two posters like this in a frame. This is my painting station. This is where I paint most of the paintings that I sell on eBay. I had a friend asking me the other day, what should they paint on? They've never painted before. And my suggestion, if you've never painted before, painting on 1/8" masonite or 1/4" plywood is a good place to start. I often paint on plywood, especially when I'm painting small. When I paint larger, generally I'll paint on stretched canvas, or sometimes if I want something underneath the canvas, a hard surface, I'll make a braced panel and stretch the canvas over a braced panel. Here's the chess set that I finished a few months ago, and as you can see, I still haven't made a chess board. That should be a project coming up soon. We just made this with MDF and some magic markers so we could play a few games. This painting is painted on plexiglass, the reverse side of plexiglass, and this is the same process. And then it's glued to a braced panel, and I usually have about 1/4 inch overhang, and I trim that overhang of the plexiglass off with a flush cut bit in the router. And the image is Death of a Loyalist Soldier. This is taken from a famous photograph by Robert Capa, who was a famous war photographer. And you may not see it. I think it's one of those images that once you do see it, you'll always see it, and until then, it may not look like anything. Here's another example of a painting painted on plexiglass. This one didn't turn out the way I liked, so now I'm using it as just a portfolio, a place to hold. Right now these are stencils and some works on paper. Here's a painting of the Dogwood Flower. I often use a Dogwood Flower as a motif. I've made this painting with aluminum leaf, and I've also made the painting on stainless steel. Here's an example of the Dogwood Flower painted with aluminum leaf, and the red is an acrylic wash. And this is my desk. This is where I do almost all of my video editing, my paperwork, design work. And I've got a couple of videos on how I made this desk. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description. But I hope you enjoyed this little tour around the studio. It was a lot of fun for me to show you what I'm up to right now. And if you know an artist, tell an artist about my channel, because I know that most people think of my channel as a woodworking channel, which it is. I do a lot of woodworking, but I really like to talk about the technical aspect of making art. How there's so many things, what surface to paint on, what medium to use. These are questions that I had when I was younger, and they were just hard to find answers to. And it's taken me 20 years or more to figure out the answers, and it's just a lot of fun now to teach people. So again, if you know somebody who likes to make art, please tell them about my channel. I really appreciate it. And also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and also check out my weekly eBay auctions. Each week I auction off an original painting, and I'm having a blast with that. I've got paintings going all over the world, and it's just a lot of fun to think that my little painting that's made here in the studio is now somewhere over in London or somewhere else. And so anyway, I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.